Good morning, ladies, and good afternoon and good evening. We're from all over the world today. As usual, I want to introduce you, Miss Rebecca Cafiero. I think I
Yeah.
said it right. Did I say it right?
Cafiero.
So Rebecca and I actually met yesterday and I met her on LinkedIn. And so we had a conversation on the phone, I think first, and then we ended up on Zoom and had another conversation. So we had lots of fun yesterday learning about her and what she does. And again, this morning we talked a little bit. So she is a health lifestyle expert. She does all kinds of stuff. You'll be able to see on her Facebook page and all that. She's married and she has a little boy and is waiting on her little girl right now. So that should be awesome for her. And so anyway, there's a lot that she can share with us. And first of all, I think we're going to be talking about what are we talking about today?
I think we're talking about branding and business.
Yes, branding. That's it. Yeah. So branding. And, this is something that I've been wanting to learn about. I search all over the place and definitely there's lots of information out there online. And so Rebecca's going to share with us what she does and how she can help us in our businesses or whatever we're doing, like it could be something that you've got a craft or you're an artist or whatever, and how to brand yourself. So it's really exciting. So Rebecca, have the floor. It's all yours. And yeah, let's go for it.
Thank you, Doris. It's my pleasure to be here. And like I said, you are just such a fountain of resources and a ray of sunshine. So I'm excited to be here and have the ability to provide some value to your incredible group. Just a little background on me and how is this something that I even came to care about and to know about is I was in the corporate world for many years. And when I decided that I wanted a little bit more freedom and choice and the ability to design my own life and decided to go out on my own as an entrepreneur, I had to learn how to brand myself and how to, really set myself apart from all the other people doing what I was doing or am doing. So I studied it. I figured it out by making a lot of mistakes and failing forward, and was able to kind of marry my different backgrounds, which is a degree in journalism and my 10 plus years of corporate experience as a VP of sales and marketing, to something I'm super passionate about, which is teaching women how to really be their own brand and how to have that help them show up better in their businesses and have more abundance in your business, because you're all amazing and passionate about whatever it is that you do, but how do you get that out there? So just the first thing is, a lot of people ask me, well, what's my brand versus my business? I think branding is a fairly new term for the solopreneur. People know about brands like Coca-Cola or Pepsi or Nike, but who are you and what is your brand? So I like to say that, your business is what you do. It is the product, the service that you offer. Your brand is who you are. And that's so important because there are so many people out there doing what we do. I mean, you think about it, think about what your favorite product is. So for example, maybe it's my favorite lip gloss. Well, there's a ton of lip glosses out there, but what is it about that lip gloss? Or, there might be a ton of, success coaches. I've had many success coaches over the year to help me up-level my business. But what is it about the ones that I chose to hire and stay with? And what it is it's obviously the value they add, but it's their brand of who they are. So that's just really the distinction. And so often, especially as women, I feel like we get in this comparison game where we're someone that's doing what we're doing, right? And maybe they're further along in their journey, or maybe they have less experience than us. They've been doing less amount of time, but they're crushing it. They're successful, they're making money, and we're like, why are they so successful when maybe we have more experience or more whatever? And that's a dangerous game to get in. We should only use people as comparison for inspiration, never for competition. We really need to focus on us. And so that's one of the things I want to share with you today that I'm so passionate about, is really teaching women how to authentically be themselves in their brand so that they show up bigger and better and in alignment. I don't know about anyone else here. I know for me, when I was looking what other people are doing and saying, well, how can I do basically exactly that, but with a little tweak to make it mine? I always felt like I was playing catch up. I always felt like I was trying to be someone else. And that's not where our strength comes from. Our strength comes from, showing up as us. Like
Yeah.
you yesterday, I mean, we were on this call and you gave me so many resources and I was like, I thought I was a resource person, but oh my goodness, you just added so much value to my life. And you did that naturally. You didn't do that by trying to be someone else. You did that by showing me the things that, you know, you have found that are helpful to you. And at the end of the day, we do business with people we know, like, and trust. So you added value to my life. So instantly I'm like, okay, I trust you. You're giving me all this value. I like you and I'm getting to know you. You know, so of course I would want to do business with you. And that's my goal for female entrepreneurs, is to establish your brand by being yourself, so that you get more exposure, and so that people know, like, and trust you, so that they will do business with you. And you do that by adding value. So I just have 3 things that I wanted to cover. And the first is knowables. And I don't know if I made up this word or I heard it somewhere, but I love it and I'm obsessed with it. So think about when you, as an entrepreneur, you know, we're all in sales. I have a lot of people that go, I want to do this thing, but I'm not a salesperson. Like, people, sales, our ability to really demonstrate the value of whatever it is that we're offering, it is the gas that fuels every business vehicle. There is nothing out there, from, you know, the candle that I am burning, the beautiful soy-free candle or soy candle, you know, whether it's the flowers from Trader Joe's, there is nothing out there that exists that we are bringing into our lives, unless we're growing it or creating it, without some type of sales. So sale is not a 4-letter word. Okay. It is, but it's not a word. But understanding, when you are, quote, selling yourself, the reason it doesn't feel good is because you're out of alignment. So when you get really better about promoting yourself in a way that is aligned with who you are and showing up as the best you don't feel like you're selling, you're sharing.
That's right.
Exactly.
You're sharing.
You're sharing, and you're adding value with no attachment. And when you do that without that icky, like, I'm doing something, so I expect something, that's when you start to have, you know, customers, followers, refers, all those people just start to flock to you. So knowables. Knowables are the things about you that you do or that you love that anyone would know. So, I mean, obviously you and I just met yesterday, but I already know some things. Like, you live in this amazing 100-year-old farmhouse. You love your grandkids. You are all about horses, you know, but you're also operating a global business from your home. Those are just a couple, and that's from less than an hour together. And so those are some things about you. Some of my knowables, if someone went to my Instagram or my Facebook or my Facebook, social media, website, etc., is that I'm a healthy lifestyle expert. I'm always working to add value as far as, like, how to detox your body, how to detox your home, making healthy swap outs, how to feed a family, a toddler, healthy and still have them enjoy what they're eating. But it also could be like holistic remedies, like we were talking about earlier, for flu season. That's one of my knowables. It isn't everyone else's. So if that's not something they're passionate about, don't try to have that as a knowable. Other things, travel. I also operate a location independent business. So I love to travel because I can do that. I love to collaborate with women, like what we're doing right here. Oh my goodness, what else? I'm also a farm girl. That's probably one of my knowables. And so those things that are just part of who you are, what you're obsessed with, like lip gloss, you know, I mean, literally obsessed with healthy, clean, non-toxic lip gloss. Those are knowables about me. So they're things that show up all the time. And then all I have to do is figure out, what do I want to be known for that is really part of who I am? Not what is this other girl known for that I want to copy?
That's right. Yeah.
But who am I authentically, and how can I show up more as that person? And then it gets easy. And you can categorize your knowable topics together. So I like to say, like, pick a product you're obsessed with, a food you're obsessed with, a habit. Maybe it's like you're that 5 a.m. rise and shine person, or maybe it's like me, which I love to make lists. I am like the organization.
Oh my goodness, that is awesome.
Those are my lists. I mean, I've got, like, you know, Post-it notes. I've got boards. I love organization. I love, like you, like resources. So take those knowables, and I can talk about health, but my knowable is also my little guy, my toddler. And my knowables travel. So I don't just have to talk about my toddler or health or travel. I can talk about mixing them, like, hey, how do you stay healthy while traveling? I just did 6 weeks in Europe. How do I stay healthy and also not, you know, gain weight, but enjoy the food? Or how do you travel with a toddler? My son's 2.5. He's been on 32 flights and he's been to 10 countries.
Wow.
I know. And so a lot of moms are like, how do you deal with kids, on an airplane? And like, I've got all my little tricks. Or how do you keep a toddler healthy? I mean, that's the other thing is my kid never gets sick. Or if he does, it's very short. What are the holistic remedies? So I have these different topics I'm passionate about that I can combine in different ways. And you know what's so easy is I don't have to go research content. It's stuff I either already know or I'm already passionately learning.
Yeah.
I see so many people that are like, I don't know how to come up with stuff that adds value. And you're like, you do. It's like Glinda the Good Witch said, Dorothy, you've had the power all along, right? And you all have. It's just really getting clear on those qualities of yourself. And sometimes we know ourselves so well that it's hard to realize what's unique and different. We have to go to that big raving fan of ours that's a best friend or maybe not a family member. Sometimes family members are good, sometimes they're not. That best friend or that person that's a supporter and say, hey, what are the things about me that you love or that are unique, or what are the topics that you'd want to hear me talk about? And make sure they're things that excite you. And so that's knowable.
That's awesome. That's awesome points. Like, I love it. Now I got it. Because I'm like this. I'm like, okay, so what am I knowable about?
Oh my gosh, you got so many. And then you take your nobles and you say, okay, let's, on social media. I mean, when we go into, let's say, well, I don't go to Starbucks, but if people go to Starbucks or a Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, whatever, there is a certain consistency of what you get, right? They may vary store to store, but for the most part, there's a certain consistency. And that's, people have comfort in consistency. Consistency is sexy. Consistency draws people in. So we want to also be consistent. It's kind of like a mini series. You want people tuning into the TV show of your life or your business, and you want them to have an idea of what they're getting. So you can theme days, like you don't have to say Motivation Monday, but I love, my theme is Motivation Monday. I may not hashtag that, but on Monday, I'm going to share something that's motivating. This Monday, I shared my toddler. I did a Tony Robbins Change Your State exercise with my toddler because he said, Mom, and I just happened to get it on video. He goes, Mom, I'm not happy. And I said, oh, you're not happy? He goes, no, Duda's not happy. He calls himself Duda. His name's Luca. Duda's not happy. And I said, well, let's get happy. So we did a state change. And of course, he's 2. So he's like happy to go along with anything. And it took about 20 seconds. And by the end, I go, are you happy? He goes, yeah. And it's like 1,000 views later. But so I can weave in those other nobles into my Motivation Monday, but talking about, changing state and the importance of not just having positive affirmations, but changing our state with our physicality. Tuesday, I love, I do Tip Tuesday. And again, I call this, or internally, I label these days. So I may not say it to my audience, but I am conditioning them that on Tuesdays, they know I'm going to provide value. And my Tuesday might be about, how to organize your day, each day into like, what are my projects I'm working on? What are my priorities? Or it could be, hey, here's a travel tip. If you are running late and you don't have any liquid in your suitcase over 3.4 ounces, bypass that check-in line for your luggage. You can take your luggage right through security and valet it at the gate. And the airlines that charge often don't want to deal with actually charging your credit card at the gate. And the airlines that don't, like a Southwest, you just board it at the gate. You get it off first, and you can bypass the entire first line as long as you have your ticket or your e-ticket. So it could be a little tip like that. I've saved an hour before. I am like notorious for showing up at the airport 20, 30 minutes before my flight, and I'm there still at the gate 5 minutes later. So, that's a tip. Wellness Wednesday, it could be about healthy mind, healthy body, healthy lifestyle. Thursday, Women Crush Wednesday, that type of thing. So figure out what are those knowables and theme different days. Yeah. And then the next tip is coming up with content. Now you've got these categories that you can talk about, but when you actually write content, don't write it right before you're about to post it. There's nothing worse than going, I need to post at 9 a.m. and it's 8:30. What am I going to write about? And sitting there for 30 minutes. Go do something you're passionate about, like a workout or maybe a meditation, or, it could be riding your horses, something that fuels you, gets you excited, gets your mind flowing. And then sit down after and just rewrite and say, oh, that's a great motivational tip. I'm going to put that in my Monday folder. Or, oh, there's a tip I just thought of, there's in my Tuesday folder. So those are just some of the nobles. I love that topic because I love helping people create content about what they're excited about. Because when you're excited about it, you're adding value to someone.
Right on.
And you want followers that want to hear what you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Right? So you are always an expert when you're talking about your own experience. You don't need to go take a class or, get certified. I mean, you don't need to get certified. I'm certified in holistic health and integrative nutrition, but I don't need that certification to add value in people's lives when it comes to health. I can just be passionate. So,
yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
And then some of the other things I love to teach about, which we won't have time to do all on this live, but getting exposure. So getting published. If you go to my website, which Doris posted, you'll see on the bottom it says, featured, TEDx speaker, featured in Women's Health, Reader's Digest, U.S. Business and News, etc. And I love showing entrepreneurs how to get published because you are passionate, you're an advocate for whatever your purpose is, and it's so important you get seen. You can only help people if they know who you are. So no, I'm not talking about investing in Facebook ads or spending a bunch of money on things like that. I'd like to show women how to get published that costs nothing. And that doesn't mean you have to be a writer. It could be that you have an excerpt. But the difference, let's say, between myself, if somebody's a health coach and they want to join a team where they get, mentorship training, what sets me apart from someone different as a mentor, as a leader, or let's say as a success coach? I might be twice as expensive hourly as someone else, but if they Google me, they're going to see all these places that I have been visible in as an expert. And that is credibility. And so that's so important for female entrepreneurs. Even if you're not a coach, even if you have a product, there's so many great ways to get your product out there for you to be featured as the product expert in a product roundup, or maybe it's like a holiday gift guide or something of that sort.
That's good. That's very good. I know a lot of people, visual branding is definitely something that people need to do.
Yes, and so exposure can be quoted, but visual branding, that's definitely another big area. And I always tell people that the reality is we live in a visual world, especially if someone's in the 20 to 40 age group. Instagram is so much more visual than Facebook. And Facebook, well, yes, pretty pictures absolutely attract people, but even just having consistency. So understanding in your branding, do you have consistent colors? Are your photos light and bright? Are they appealing? Doesn't mean if someone follows me, most of my photos are professional. That's one, because I have a background in photography. I know how to take a professional looking self-portrait. But my business partner in my branding business, Brand Camp Retreat, is a professional photographer. So we get together often, we photograph each other. But you don't have to have a professional photographer on call to learn how to take phenomenal photos.
Mm-hmm.
And that is important, that you show up, in an attractive way to other people. And I don't mean like you have to have a makeover to take a photo, and not at all, if that's not your thing. But having consistency in your images and your branding is very important, so that you are visually clear as well as clear in your language of what you're talking about and how you're speaking about it.
Mm-hmm.
So awesome. I love to show women all of those things.
That's awesome. And so you on Instagram, you have a web or page on Instagram, and you can follow that page. We're going to put it at the end of this conversation, so you guys can hook up with her on there. And then you were talking to me a little bit about you having an event.
We do. So Brand Camp is, I do a lot of speaking events, but Brand Camp, being my own business, we do retreats twice a year. We did our first one in Palm Springs. Our last one was in Sonoma or Napa area of Northern California. And our next one's in Austin, Texas. And that's end of January. And that's a 4-day, really immersive retreat for female entrepreneurs to up-level their brands. It's incredible. It's magical. You get a photo shoot out of it. It's just, you come out with, there's a mastermind part of it. And you really come out with relationships with other female entrepreneurs that are collaborative and resource-driven. But we don't, not everyone can physically get to Austin. We only do 12 spots, so it stays very intimate. We do some one-day workshops as well. We have one November 10th in San Francisco. But if you're wanting to know more about Brand Camp, if you follow us on Instagram or shoot us a message from our website, brandcampresretreat.com, we will be launching end of this year our online course for entrepreneurs, and that will be able to, women that are everywhere in the world can benefit really at a low cost option to learn this and get this content, because it's so important. Mm-hmm. And I think there's so many courses out there that teach you like how to do Instagram or, how to structure your business. But I don't feel like really understanding and honing your individual unique brand is out there. I know it wasn't. That's why we created it, because it is so needed for women to show up, empowered and clear in their message.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I think it's it's something that I was looking for, but I didn't know what I was looking for. Do you know what I mean, Rebecca?
Right.
It's like, how do I do this? Like, yeah, brand yourself. But what does that mean?
Right.
Really, what does that mean? Right? I can have a webpage that says Doris.com. What am I supposed to put on that? Right? What am I supposed to put on that page? Who am I?
Right. What's your voice?
Yeah.
People obviously, you're just a very, like I said, you're a ray of sunshine, but what are those things that you can have total clarity on? So the importance of clarity is there's so many things to do as entrepreneurs. There's like so many things we can focus on. But if we have that clarity on who we are and who our audience is and the steps to getting to whatever that next goal is, then we make sure we're focusing our time in the best way. And we don't spend all that time kind of spinning our wheels trying to figure out, well, what should I say? Who am I saying it to? How do I do it? We can get very clear. And for many of you, that are watching this, if you have a business, it might be a side business. You might be working to leave your full-time gig for that thing that really lights you up. And you've got 1 or 2 hours a day. How can you be the most effective?
Yeah.
When I decided to leave my business, or leave my old job, start my own business, I was building my business in the pockets of my time. And when I saw that light at the end of the tunnel, I went, wait a second, I could do this. I was able to build a business that replaced my my corporate VP salary in about 6 months. So it is very possible, depending on how clear someone is, how focused they are, and their voice and their brand, and attracting the people that they're interested in attracting is crucial.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Rebecca, I want to thank you for coming on today. And I'm very excited that you're going to come back and give us some more information on what you do. And this way other ladies can, as we have new ladies on, and, if people haven't seen this, don't see this video, I'm sure they're going to catch you at some point or another. And you have so much value in what you've told us today. And I'm excited to work with you and learn more about your branding, because I really do want to know that, because I've been kind of sitting there stuck, finding little pieces everywhere, as you can see yesterday when I was telling you all the stuff that I know. And but the branding part really was a part that I didn't know really what to do about. So what your little tips that you gave us today is, like, I think, excellent. So I want to thank you so much for being here.
I appreciate it. I can't wait to come back and chat more.
All right. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.